Call the regular town board meeting of August 26, 2025 to order. Please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence to remember those who served our country in the past and for those who continue to protect our country today. Thank you. At this time, please note the emergency exits are the door behind us, the door you came in, and the door at the end of the hallway. So right now, I'd like to invite Jessica Peterson, our building inspector, to come up. She wants to clarify some information.
As Supervisor Cavucci said, I'm Building Inspector Jessica Peterson. As some of you may know, a letter was sent out to Mr. Fischetti of 150 Lime Ridge Road for Death Ridge Road. I just want to be clear, he was never asked to shut down Death Ridge Road. I know this is a beloved event in the community. It has just become such a large event that safety and traffic and things like that have become a concern, and as a safety official, we just want to make sure that everyone who goes to it is safe, traffic is controlled, and all of that. I have no desire to get rid of something so beloved and so enjoyed in this town. We have had complaints, you know, and nobody likes to hear it, but there's liability issues and other matters, and like I said, I asked for traffic control, a third-party safety inspection, and like I said, the letter he received never said that the event couldn't happen. Both myself and Mr. Fischetti met this morning. We had a wonderful meeting. We agreed on a time frame for him to set up the event. Again, the intention was never to get rid of Death Ridge Road. It was simply to make it safe and functional for everyone to enjoy. So Death Ridge Road will go on as normal. We have agreed to safety ground rules, so everyone should be safe and happy. And, you know, that is that. Apologize that unfortunately, you know, things get a little out of hand, but we just want to make sure everybody is safe and happy, and on Halloween, traffic is controlled and all of that. So.
Thank you, Jessica. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Jess.
So now I'd like to invite Douglas Zimmerman from EFPR Group. He is from our independent audits, and he's going to make a presentation for our independent audit.
Good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Doug Zimmerman. I'm a partner with the FPR Group, and here to give a brief summary of the results of the audit that we've been in the process of conducting for the town. There was a two-page handout that we've provided to members tonight. The financial statements and the auditor's reports that we're issuing have been reviewed with management. There are a number of reports that we issued. There's actually 4 separate financial statements that we issue, a report to the board, and 2 management letters. So there's a combined 7 different reports that we're issuing. With regards to the actual financial statements, there are the basic financial statements of the town. There's a report on the town justice court. There's a report on the town clerk audit. And the receiver of taxes audit. So all 4 of those reports, our opinion will be unmodified. In other words, a clean opinion that the underlying accounting records do not deviate from generally accepted accounting principles. So the financial statements are materially presented in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. Management provided us all the necessary information that we requested, and we certainly do look at a lot of different information. Just to put things in perspective, the actual main town financial statements, there's over 50 pages of information in those. It begins with the audit report. There's a section called Management's Discussion and Analysis. That's the town's opportunity to describe the results of operations and what caused changes from one year to the next. Then we have the base financial statements, and there's 2 components of that. There are the overall town financial statements, which include your long-term assets and liabilities, and then there are the fund financial statements, which is really what taxpayers think of when they talk about the tax base and the tax assessment. in the general fund of the town. And then there are notes that expand on the various account balances. And then we do have another opinion in the back of the report with regards to the town's compliance with generally accepted government auditing standards, which is another set of rules and regulations that the town has to comply with. Just some of the financial highlights, with regards to the main financial statements. The assets and deferred outflow of resources of the town exceeded the liabilities and the deferred inflows by $28,032,000, or that is the net position of the town. And again, that's on the overall town financial statements. With regards to the general fund fund balance increased by a little over $54,000, which was mainly the result of the actual expenditures being less than the budget expenditures by some $353,000, excuse me. The highway fund, which is another major fund of the town, the fund balance increased by just under $200,000, and that was a result of mainly the actual expenditures being less than the budget expenditures by $644,000. And all of these various numbers are detailed within the financial statements. So as an example, the two budget items that I mentioned, there's budget to actual comparisons for the general fund on page 37, and then for the highway fund on page 38. Another one of the significant items, the town's investment in capital assets, and that includes all the assets, the vehicles, the actual bridges in the town, all the infrastructure, net of accumulated depreciation. That balance at the end of December 31st of 24 was $24.7 million. And in 2024, the town had completed a number of capital improvements, including the highway garage roof, which is a little over $500,000, the Gardner Hollow Bridge project for just under $900,000, and then they resurfaced 3.34 miles of roads for another $165,000. So those three main capital expenditures were $1,580,000, and there certainly were some other minor ones. With regards to the actual results of the audit, as I mentioned, there was an opinion in the back of the financial statements back on pages 48 and 49 that comply with government auditing standards. There was one item that we noted that we reported within the body of that report, and that had to do with some fraudulent activities that had been detected in one of the town clerk bank accounts. And the key there is that under best practices, if something like that's detected, ideally what you want to do is close that account, dispose of all the checks so that you know that anything going on with that has been cut off completely, and then obviously open a new account and new checks. And that account, although the activity had been reduced to zero, remained open for several months after it was detected. So again, under best practices, we just recommend that the town adopt a policy that you require shutting down of any bank accounts immediately following any type of known activity of that nature. That was the only issue that rose to the level of a concern in that report. Whenever we do an audit, there are three levels of things that we can detect or see when we review a government's operations. There are significant items that would be in the government auditing standards financial statement report, and that was that item. Less significant items, but still material that we want to bring to the board's attention would be communicated in what's called a management letter. And as I mentioned, that we issued 2 management letters, and I'll go through those in a second. And then very insignificant items might be just verbal communication with the town. So again, we did issue 2 separate management letters, one on the overall town, and then one specifically related to the town clerk and the receiver of taxes engagements that we performed. With regards to the town item, there was one in there with regards to the town justice court financial records. We had noted that there was a lack of review of the financial records, including the bank reconciliations, and we're recommending that the accounting office develop a list of financial records of the court for review to enhance the town justice court's internal controls. And certainly review and approval of bank reconciliations is one of the cornerstones of a proper internal control system. And then the other had to do with document storage. Documents are being stored in several locations of the office, as well as older documentation being stored off-site, causing delays in certain finding of requested information. And we're recommending that just management review a perform a review of cost analysis to determine if the off-site storage is beneficial, and especially in today's day and age, whether or not consideration should be made to scanning that information and maintaining it electronically. Again, these don't rise to that higher level, but they are still best practices, housekeeping items that we bring to the attention of management and the governing bodies of organizations. The other management letter that we issued specifically related to the town court and the receiver of taxes. There were several items there that we wanted to bring to your attention. The first having to do with bank reconciliation errors. We noted several mathematical errors between the reconciled general ledger balances and the bank reconciliations for both of those entities. And again, we recommend that to ensure bank reconciliations properly foot and tie out and are free of clerical errors. Again, as I mentioned, accurately prepared and reviewed and approved bank reconciliations are really your first line of defense in a properly functioning internal control system. Excuse me. With regards to dormant bank accounts, there's an old inactive bank account that was not closed until after the end of the year, and for several months the account had a zeroed out balance. And so again, best practices that inactive accounts should be closed so there's no possible liability existing with regards to any of those. We noted that there was a non-sequential use of check usage, and again, best practices would be that you're using checks in a sequential manner. It aids in the reconciliation process of the bank recs and leads to better internal controls with the possibly detecting mispayments. So again, best practices would be that you're not skipping around in the utilization of a check sequencing. With regards to town clerk monthly report reconciliations, several of the town clerk monthly reports did not have their total revenue matching the receipts in the corresponding bank statements. And again, it's they're not major dollars, but again, it's deposits going into the bank account need to agree to the deposits that are being reported on the monthly report. So again, we're just making that recommendation. Unremitted taxes, there were unremitted taxes in the receiver of taxes account. The proper treatment is that those funds come in, they're handled, and they get dispersed out to the appropriate end user, and that at the end of each year that those accounts really have a zero balance. And you would see in the report that we issued, the one account had a $4,600 balance, and again, the way they should be functioning appropriately is that those zero out because you're just receiving the money and dispersing it to the end user. And then the last item was document retention. The town software used for document scanning and retention was not being used for a large part of the 24 in the receiver of taxes in the town clerk office. And again, we're recommending that the software be used consistently as a vital for document storage and historical record retention. Again, it's a very high-level overview of the audit and the financial results of the town. Certainly, it was a pleasure to work with everybody and receiving the information to be able to provide these reports. And again, we don't do this in a vacuum. The town has to have the information readily available and prepared throughout the year so that we can come in and do the audit at the end of the fiscal year to be able to provide the results back. And I certainly would be happy to answer any questions anyone may have.
I think we will, we had gotten them today, so we will review them and then have them on the next agenda for acceptance.
Okay.
And then we'll be able to get the final documents without draft on them.
Yes, yeah, right now they are in draft form.
Right.
We have not signed the opinions yet.
Right.
So once they are formally approved, we have a couple little housekeeping items that we have to do on the audit side, and then we can put them on our letterhead, date the opinions, and provide you the final forms.
Right, so that will give us a little time to review them and be ready for the next board meeting.
Absolutely.
And then we'll get in touch with you after probably September 10th.
Okay.
And let you know. We really appreciate your trip down.
Absolutely.
And we appreciate working with your company. It's been a pleasure. They're incredibly professional, incredibly helpful and informative, and they've just done a great job for the town for a number of years.
Thank you very much.
And we thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. Anybody else? You have a lovely evening.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for
Have a very
joining
nice
us.
evening.
Thank you.
Safe ride home.
Okay, so I'm just going to run through the resolutions. Resolution number 1 is closing the capital project fund at TCP, that would be the playground. Resolution number 2 is increasing the budget for the FEMA repairs for the capital project. Were a number of roads damaged. We've gotten FEMA funds, and we're looking to do the Stowe Drive culvert repair. It's important to get that done, as it's a one-way in and a one-way out for the residents. Number 3 is authorizing the sale of highway equipment at auction. Number 4 is approving attendance for the court clerk at a conference. Number 5 is our usual housekeeping budget revision. Number 6 is the 250th anniversary of America, so we're going to work on celebrations for our nation's birthday, so our town will be fully participating in 2026. And number 7 is our payment of claims. So I'm going to go to public comments for our agenda items. Barbara Walsh.
I'm Barbara Walsh. I live at 5702 Chelsea Road. So I was looking at the resolutions. I was looking particularly at resolution number 6. And I don't understand why a committee has already been formed, and I'm assuming it was the board, the whole board, all members of the town board, that decided you needed to form a committee to celebrate the 250th anniversary of this country, when that's not going to happen until next year, July 4th of 2026. How did that, am I going to get answers for it? I shouldn't be asking questions.
You can ask questions, but it's your time to comment.
Okay, then I would like to know why that committee was put together. In addition, 8 specific people were named to that committee. Mary is one, Sharon's another, our state senator is another. How were those people chosen? And in addition to that, it states that 3 people, one from the Conservation Committee, one from the Planning Board, and one from the Zoning Board, will also be on the committee. It says that we chose them. Are you going to choose those people as you did the 8 who were already on the committee? No answer. It is beyond me. Why would you do that when, in fact, Mary, you're not going to be the supervisor when this committee adjourns next year?
Do you realize, and this is going to be my only comment because it's your time to comment, but many, many towns, many other places throughout the country have already had a jump start months ago with committees doing this. It starts January 2026. Things need to be put in place. For example, budgetary items. All of this needed to be done in advance. So what you're indicating, Barbara, is that we've done something nefarious for America's birthday. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and I'm tired of these constant innuendo that I'm doing something wrong. This is prudent. This is what other communities have done. It needs to be put into the budget, period.
You know what, Mary? I think you're using that as an excuse to run the show again. And, yeah, that's fine, okay?
It is.
And take that away from the next supervisor. Oh, that's what it's all about.
Thank you, Barbara.
In addition, I would want different parties represented, unlike the way it's been.
Well, Barbara, that would have been a good idea for November, since you're the chair of the Democratic Party and you didn't put up any candidates. So I suggest you look in your own backyard to put up candidates. Your time is up. Your time is up, Barbara.
With a committee.
Your time is up. Mersing, you can start. You signed for public comment. That's at the end.
You must have signed the wrong one.
Go ahead.
You good? Well, good evening, everyone. Resolution number 1, to close the capital project fund. Whereas the town of Beekman authorized various capital project funds to make improvements to equipment and facilities, and whereas the GASB and GAAP best practices recommends the official closing of capital projects by the governing body, and whereas the following completed capital projects summarized now should be officially closed, and the disposition of unexpected balance approved as follows. The capital project improvement description, Town Center Park, IMP. Project budget, $200,000. The final expenses, $190,000. Unexpended balance, $10,000. Disposition of unexpended balance returned to the general fund. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Beekman officially approves the closing of the above capital projects with the unexpended balances returned to the general fund designated for capital projects use.
I will second that.
Town Board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Capillari?
Aye.
Councilman Benalini?
Aye.
Councilman Lemec?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passed.
Resolution number 2, resolution to increase budget for FEMA repairs capital project. Whereas the Town of Beekman Resolution number 3425-21 created a capital project fund for the special repairs to damaged roads funded with FEMA and highway funds totaling $260,000. And whereas the town has been notified by the town engineer that special piping work estimated at $252,380 is necessary for Stowe Drive culverts repairs, which is ineligible for FEMA funding. And whereas the town engineer is preparing plans to complete the special road repairs, now therefore be it resolved that the Town of Beekman Town Board deems it necessary to increase the authorized capital project budget to $528,725, summarized as follows.
I'll second.
Town Board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Capillari?
Aye.
Councilman Benalini?
Aye.
Councilman Lemec?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passed.
Whereas the Highway Department has received their 2025 Western Star dump truck, VIN number 5KKABPFM2SLVT 5302, and whereas the Town Board is desirous in disposing the truck that this replaces, now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board hereby authorizes Tony Coviello, Highway Superintendent, to place this item for sale at auction, with the proceeds going to the reserve fund, the Reserve for Equipment DA 0882. One, the 1997 International 4800 B3 VIN number 1HTSEA8VH429377.
I'll second.
Town Board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Councilman Capillari?
Aye.
Councilman Benalini?
Aye.
Councilman Lemec?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passed.
Resolution number 8. Whereas New York Associate Magistrates Court Clerks Annual Conference will be held at the Crown Plaza, the Desmond in Albany, New York, from September 28th through October 1st, 2025. And whereas the court clerk would like to register to attend, and where there are monies in the court's budget for training, now therefore be it resolved that the authorization is hereby given to the court clerk to attend the conference, and that the registration fee of $100 and mileage 70 cents is, if using her own vehicle, will be reimbursed or paid directly as audited by the town board.
I'll second that.
Town Board discussion?
Just for the record, this is resolution number 4, not 8.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
82625-4, you're right. My apologies.
Understood.
Do I have a?
I'll second that.
Okay. Town Board discussion?
That's right.
Hearing none, roll call vote.
So hold on. So Ezio, you didn't second?
Yeah, I did.
It did.
Oh, okay.
Okay, he beat me to it.
Councilman Capillari?
Aye.
Councilman Benalini?
Aye.
Councilman Lemec?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
And Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passed.
Whereas the Town of Beekman's Accounting Office recommends certain budget revisions based on department requests and/or the Accounting Office review and analysis of expenditures or revenues, now therefore be resolved that the following itemized revisions are approved by the Town of Beekman Town Board identified as budget revision number 2025-8 as follows.
I'll second.
Town board discussion. So just to clarify, we do not have a state senator on this committee. Secondly, I have no idea of the political party of 1, 2, 3,
Wait, did we finish the
4.
last one? We didn't do a vote.
No, we haven't. We're having town board discussion.
But am I missing something? Are we on,
We're on Resolution
Which one
5.
did you do? Okay.
Right, but
I'll
she's
get-
skipping
I'll
to
get
6.
Okay,
Yeah, we just did 5.
all right, go ahead. Roll call vote?
Councilman Capelari?
Aye.
Councilman Benalini?
Aye.
Councilman Limak?
Aye.
Councilwoman Norman?
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passed.
Resolution number 6, appoint semi-quincentennial committee. Whereas the 250th anniversary of America, bless you, also known as the semi-quincentennial, commemorates the historic signing of the Declaration of Independence on July 4, 1776. This milestone offers an opportunity for Americans to reflect on the nation's history, honor the contributions of diverse communities, and look forward to the future. And whereas the town of Beekman plans to join in the celebration by offering several opportunities throughout the coming year for the town residents to participate in, now therefore be it resolved that the following individuals be named to this committee: a member of the CAC chosen from their committee, a member of the Zoning Board of Appeals chosen from their committee, a member of the Planning Board chosen from their committee, Danny Plastini, Gina Snyder, Faye Garrido, Chris Rollison, Kathy McDonald, Heather Cooper, Mary Cavucci, and Sharon Warman.
Second.
I'll second.
As I was saying, we don't have a state senator, and 7 out of these named people, I have no idea what their political party is, nor should I. Roll call vote?
Councilman Capelari?
Nay.
Councilman Benalini?
Aye.
Councilman Limak?
Aye.
Councilwoman Norman?
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passed.
Resolution number 7, payment of claims. Whereas the bookkeeper has audited and approved claims pursuant to Section 119 of Town Law as set forth in the attached abstracts, be it resolved that the payment therefore is hereby authorized as follows. Claim to be paid from the A General Fund, $120,587.97. Claims to be paid from the DA Highway Fund, $482,397.63. Claims to be paid from the SS Dover Ridge Sewer, $7,680.47. Claims to be paid from the SW Dover Ridge Water, $3,951.96. Claims to be paid from the T Trust Fund, $33,889.79. Claims to be paid from the H Capital Fund, $39,385.88, for a grand total of $687,893.70. Payroll of July 31st, 2025, payroll number 16, out of the general fund, $74,462.15. Out of the highway fund, $24,159.96, for a total of $98,622.11. August 14, 2025, payroll number 17, out of the general fund, $70,224.49. Out of the highway fund, $23,869.57, for a total of $94,094.06.
I'll second that.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Capelari?
Aye.
Councilman Benalini?
Aye.
Councilman Limak?
Aye.
Councilwoman Norman?
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passed. Can you just tell me who seconded the number 6? I don't remember.
I did.
Okay.
Sharon, do you have something?
I do, are we on to, okay. Let's see. Tuesday, September 16th, 2025, there's going to be a citizens preparedness training. It's going to be held at the Beekman Recreation Community Center, 31 Recreation Road, Beekman. The spaces are limited. There is a sign-up, and you can call Danny at 845-227-5783, or I think you can sign up online at www.beekmanrec.com.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on to...
So I just have to just mention taxes really fast. So September 15th, school taxes are going to start. We haven't received the bills yet, so we're hoping to get them sometime next week. So it's going to be from September 15th, and the last day to pay without penalty would be Friday, October 31st, and we will have hours that day. Just please watch the website for updates.
Teresa?
Hi, I'm Teresa Welgus. I live at 92 Lime Ridge Road. I had a lot to say about the 250-year anniversary, but that's done because nothing's going to happen there. I do have a question. I've noticed all over the place a lot of towns got grants for their recreations, for their town, and Sioux Sereno helped with that. I'm wondering why we, as a town, did not submit any applications for any grants to upgrade the fields. The soccer fields are horrible. My son plays over in Timor. He's 10, he plays over in Timor. It's disgusting. The fields are horrible. They don't take care of them. We sit in mud. All right, that's one of my main concerns. I'm just wondering, can you answer why you haven't done any of this?
I'll give you a report at the next meeting of all the grants we've gotten.
Okay,
Okay.
because I'd like to know, because I see
Sure.
it all over the place. A lot of these different towns in Dutchess County are getting them, but
And
I
we
haven't
did
seen
too.
nothing for Beekman.
No, we did, but I'll give the report next week. I'll even put it on the web. Okay?
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Murray?
And also Timor Park is in Unionville. It's on the town of Beekman.
They need additional fields.
Okay, thank you. By the gas station, we got the soccer
Yeah.
fields over here. Why do we have to play over there?
Because if you've talked to Jim Borman, who runs it, there's just not enough fields. He's got a huge group. We're looking at that to give them another field. Okay?
Hi, Mary Johnson, 54 Roosevelt Drive. First, I have invited our county comptroller to give an overview of what his office does, plus take Q&As from the audience. It will be 5:30 on September 18th, a Thursday, at the Beekman Library, and you have to register from the library site. The links to those details are at the library site and their calendar. I posted all kinds of stuff and plastered flyers everywhere I could think of, so that ought to be a really interesting presentation. I want to address something from the 623 meeting that came up during public comments. A resident asked whether COVID funds were provided to local businesses. The 4 members of the board in attendance tried to answer. Finally, board member Badalini said that no funds were received for businesses. I confirmed that in the video. This answer is incorrect. Beekman received almost $1.5 million in federal funds. A simple request to the comptroller's office provided the answer based on independent audits submitted by the town. I find it baffling and peculiar that 4 members of the board were unaware of this. There had been repeated requests by residents asking how this was to be spent since 2021. The board has responded 3 ways. I'll let you know, I don't have to tell you, and of course no response. And as was indicated tonight, to take offense at anything that was brought up that might appear to be against the supervisor, who then retaliated with extraneous information. My next issue is the open meeting law. The open meeting law refers to a public body like our town planning and zoning boards. It is defined as 2 or more members performing governmental duties. This means that 2 or more of a public body may not discuss, email, text, or call each other to discuss agenda items to be voted on without prior public notice of 10 days for the meeting to be available to the public so they can attend and see how our town is governed. The open meeting law also allows the public to attend and listen to deliberations and the decisions, but it's a one-way law. We can't say anything. Since January of '25, I counted 358 votes by the Board on resolutions, including 2 that were not on the agenda but added at the last minute. Out of that 358, I counted 353 aye votes, 3 nay votes, and 2 abstentions. No discussion, questions, explanations, or debate happened on any of those resolutions. The resolution was read and then voted on. That means that 98.6% of all resolutions passed by the board were given aye votes, yet there was no discussion, debate, deliberation in the meeting. I find that disturbing, and I think residents should be aware of this and make their own conclusions. My remaining comments will be posted at Beekman Positive. Thank you.
So the ARPA funds, the ARPA funds, I suggest you look, and I don't know which meeting it was in December of 2024, that gave the total of where the ARPA funds went. The ARPA funds didn't go to businesses. They went to projects in town. I suggest you have a look at that.
No, I did. I talked to the comptroller, and there were $800,000 of funds sitting in a bank account taking interest.
I suggest, excuse me, if you look at them, and I'll bring it for the next time, if you look at the December, I'm not sure which meeting, clearly articulated where all of the funds went.
And why wasn't
We're
it
going, or
when
what,
we originally asked for it? How come it took 5 years for that to come out?
because we were planning on which projects were going to get the money.
Ms. Supervisor, if I could just address
I would
the
love
board.
you to step in.
With respect,
with
respect to,
to the comptroller of what projects were going to be done by the end of 2024.
It wasn't to the
And answer is
controller, it went to the feds, and it went to the feds. They're aware of it, all the contracts. Go ahead.
with respect to the open meetings law, the open meetings law states that you cannot have a quorum without having. Is this on?
Yeah, it's got a green light. Yeah.
The open meetings law states that you cannot have a quorum without having a meeting, a notice of meeting. So the boards here have 5 members. That means you cannot have a quorum of 3 discussing any matter without complying with the open meetings law. So if there was a board of 3, then I would agree that 2 would be a quorum. But there is no board of 3 that I know of on Beekman. So as long as you can have a meeting of 2. You can have a meeting one-on-one to discuss any item on the agenda, so long as you do not have 3 members.
Okay, thank you. Nancy?
Hi, I'm Nancy Lynham, 15 Dove Court. Good evening, everyone. As someone who tries to always see the good in everything and the glass half full, I'd like to point out and say thanks to our highway department, Tony Covey, our highway superintendent, Tony Coviello, and his staff for a fine job on the work they did to Furnace and Dorn roads. If you haven't driven on those roads, you should. The work was well done, so again, I thank them. And I feel this was something to be noted because often it is negative stuff that gets cranked about while the good stuff doesn't get mentioned. In addition, and keeping with the glass half full and trying to see the good in everything, I am noting here that while I don't go on Facebook, a friend sent me a posting from Facebook that was a long dissertation and criticism of those running against the current board. In addition to the comments was a comic depicting our current town clerk, Laureen, as Lazy Laureen, and our highway super, Tony Coviello, as a no-show Tony. First off, neither was comical and certainly not true. But more importantly, I would like to thank whoever wrote it because you showed your true colors, and it clearly was a bitter, last-ditch effort, not to mention juvenile, to attempt to discredit these 2 elected positions. I believe the primary was a clear indication of who and what our townspeople are looking for, despite the fact that this town board doesn't listen or act on the majority's behalf. Clearly, the thinking and desires of our town voters isn't in line with the thinking of those who wrote such trash and a few who agree with that Facebook posting. Do you really think that such negativity is a true reflection of those depicted? Newsflash, it is a highly visible reflection on the authors.
Bill Crane?
Bill Crane, 254 Gardner Hollow Road. On public meetings law, we had a negative vote today. Public meetings law states I pretty closely have it memorized. The public has the right to observe the decision-making of its government officials. It would be, I'm glad to hear, some dissent because it reflects there is a variety of opinion. It would be good when somebody dissents, if they would explain why, the reason behind the dissent, so that would give us an even better understanding. Of course, sometimes it's executive session material and so on, so that's just a quick note on what happened. I came tonight to talk about, I think we're really in a crisis with our environment. I'm going to mention 4 areas, and Hines Road has 2 developments on there. Hines Road is mostly a dirt road that looks like you're back in the 18th century, and it has a bit of mystery and kind of a mythical quality. It's a wonderful place, and now that we've got 2 developments coming up there. Bischoff Lane always had a feeling of mystery to it. It's getting a new development. Around the Savannah Estates, that's just what it is, bad. There's going to be a 200 home development around the lake, not far away from there. Baker Road is going to, the plan right now is to cut down 532 trees. Developments are, I fear that developments are going to take away our town and turn it into suburbia, and it's, we have to get control of this situation. I appreciate that the board has been acquiring some open space, and I appreciate they've joined Climate Smart, which would give them an opportunity to get grants to do that, and I think some tighter zoning is necessary. Otherwise, we're going to become more like Mahopac and Fishkill and lose the rural character of our town. Finally, I want to mention there's signs up for stump grinding. I hope the public knows that, stumps don't always look sightly, but when the stumps decompose, it nourishes the soil. They nourish the soil. They provide habitats for all kinds of very small animals, organisms, and they also prevent soil erosion. So if people have a decision to make about I don't mind to interfere with some guy's right to make money, but if they have a decision to make about what to leave of a tree that's been cut down, I hope they will consider leaving the stump.
Thank you, Bill. I make a motion to
I
adjourn.
have something I'd like to say.
Oh, sure.
Just on Nancy's comment about the highway doing the paving. The highway doesn't do the paving of the roads. Clode Excavator did all the paving of the roads, not the highway department.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.